You are listening to the Becoming the Wealthy You podcast with Jermaine Foley. If you're a woman who makes good money in your career or business, but you're not building wealth like you want to, then you're in the right place. In this podcast, you'll learn how to stop overspending, break free from the cycle of debt, save lots of cash, and become the wealthy woman you were born to be. Let's dive in. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I want to remind you that this coming Sunday, April 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, I am hosting my brand new, fully revamped Stop Overspending Masterclass. This is where I'm going to take everything that we've talked about over the last few episodes and connect the dots so that you'll finally understand why this keeps happening and what you actually need to change so that it stops for good. Now, all you have to do is go to jermainefoley.com/class to save your spot or simply go to the show notes. That's Jermaine with a G, Foley.com/class. I'm really excited about this masterclass because a lot of the content I'm going to be sharing is refreshed and I can't wait to share it with you all. I will be working this week to finalize my slides, make sure everything flows for you. So if you are someone who knows that overspending is your biggest wealth stealer, then you do not want to miss this free masterclass. All you have to do again is go to jermainefoley.com/class or go to the show notes. Okay, so over the last several episodes 168 through 172, we've talked about a lot of different spending patterns and a lot of different spending types. We talked about the boredom buyer, the relief seeker, the experience enhancer, the rewarder, the overgiver, the social spender, and also the convenience spender. And on the surface, these all look like different patterns, right? Different triggers, different situations, different reasons. But if you look a little closer, underneath all of them, they follow the same impulsive spending habits. They're all happening for the exact same reason. So this is what it looks like on the surface. You see or think about something, you want it, and you buy it. And most of the time that happens so fast, it feels automatic, like you're not even thinking about it. And before you know, you're walking out the store with a bunch of stuff, or you're checking out online with a bunch of stuff that you weren't even planning to buy. And it just feels automatic. But what's actually happening underneath all of that is that you're not just buying something, you're actually using spending to change how you feel. Now, I'm not saying that every single time you impulse buy, you're trying to change how you feel, but a lot of times you are. And that is what we call buffering. So buffering is something that you do to prevent yourself from feeling an uncomfortable emotion. It's something that you do to put a cushion between you and the uncomfortable emotion so that you do not have to fully experience it. And for a lot of us, we shop. Right? Some people eat, some people drink, some people do other things. But for many of us, we spend or we shop. We shop when we're bored. We spend when we feel overwhelmed. We indulge in retail therapy when we feel stressed. And guess what? Here's the tricky part. In the moment, it works, right? You stop feeling bored. You're no longer bored. The overwhelm kind of dies down a little bit. It takes the edge off. Shopping will totally take the edge off. And when you're stressed, shopping or spending just kind of calms you down a little bit. And again, in the moment, it works. You feel better. But here's the truth. You're not solving the boredom, the stress, or the overwhelm. You're simply masking it, right? You're covering it up just long enough to feel better, but nothing underneath actually changes. So I've used this analogy before. It really is a good one, so I'm going to use it again. It's almost like when you have a fever due to something like strep throat, and instead of treating the infection with an antibiotic, you just keep popping Tylenol. Yes, the fever does go down for a little while, and you do feel better for a moment, but the infection is still there. So the fever will come back. That's what's happening here, right? The boredom is still there. The stress is still there. The overwhelm is still there. Whatever is causing you to be bored all the time, whatever is stressing you out all the time, whatever is overwhelming you all the time is still there because you didn't actually deal with the root cause. You just covered it up. And here's the thing. If this worked, I will be all about it. If you could just spend one time, if you can just go and splurge one time when you're bored and then that solves it forever, I would be like, okay, that's worth it, right? If you could just go online, buy some stuff, and then you're never overwhelmed again because it solves whatever was causing you to be overwhelmed, I would be like, yeah, that's worth it. Let's do it. But the truth is, shopping and spending doesn't fix what's really going on. So because it doesn't fix what's really going on, the emotions come back and then you end up being stuck in a cycle. The boredom keeps coming back, the stress keeps coming back, and the overwhelm keeps coming back. Why? Again, because you didn't solve anything. Just like the fever, it goes down for a little while, but then it comes right back. And now, again, you're in a cycle. You feel something uncomfortable, you spend to feel better, you get some temporary relief, and then the feeling comes back. And in order to deal with it, you spend again. And that happens over and over and over again. And now you're not just faced with the original emotion or the original problem, you're actually faced with financial problems on top of it, right? So maybe now you're going deeper and deeper into credit card debt, or you're never building up your net worth. Your savings is like non-existent. Your investments are lackluster. You're just not where you want to be. You're constantly stressed about money all the time. You're constantly thinking like, where in the world is all my money going? Like, I know I'm making it. It's coming in, but it's going right back out. And that causes more stress and less peace of mind. And it just perpetuates the cycle over and over again. And when you really think about it, what's happening is this: your current self, who you are in the moment, is solving for how you feel right now. So I'm using the word solving very, very loosely because you're not solving anything, but it feels like you're solving for it in the moment. Really, you're just masking it. But so your current self, that's what it's doing. It's solving for what's in front of you right now, what you're dealing with right now. And what it's doing is making your future self have to deal with the consequences. It's almost like you're saying, I don't want to feel this right now. I don't want to deal with this right now. So I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to go spend, and I'll let my future self figure it out later. Now, you're not consciously saying this, but this is kind of what's happening subconsciously. And that's what's happening. That is the pattern. So you feel something, you don't want to really deal with it. You don't want to feel it. So you spend over it. And then your future self, that could be you next week, 2 weeks from now, or even years from now. That is who's left to deal with all of those financial consequences that you're just piling up so that you don't have to deal with whatever is in front of you in the moment. So let me give you a simple example of how this actually plays out. Let's say every weekend you find yourself bored. During the week, you're busy. You're working, you've got structure, you've got things going on. So during the week, you hardly ever find yourself bored because you're busy. But when Saturday comes, there's really nothing planned. There's really nothing going on. And instead of sitting with that or even noticing it, you just automatically find yourself going shopping. You might go to Target. You might find yourself at Sephora, at Ulta, at Zara, at Home Goods or Marshall's, any of the big stores, Nordstrom Rack, or even the mall. And for some of you, you just do it at home. You scroll online and you spend. And in the moment, it works, right? You're entertained. You're doing something. You're no longer bored. But here's what's actually happening. You're not addressing the boredom. You're not asking, why am I bored every single weekend? What do I actually want my weekends to feel like? What might be missing here, right? There's so many ways you can get curious about that boredom. And if you were my client, I would be all up in there and boredom would be solved. We will get to that root cause to see why every Saturday or Sunday you're finding yourself bored. And we would really, really work to solve that versus just spending over it. So, but because you're not doing that, the boredom stays because you never actually got curious about it. You never sat with it. You never questioned it long enough to understand it. And what happens? It didn't solve the problem, right? So next weekend, you're right back at it. And this just becomes your normal. And then the financial consequences start to pile up. And then not only are you finding yourself bored on the weekends, but you also find yourself stressed about your finances, right? You're wondering where all your money is going. You start to see the credit card debt build up. Again, the savings lackluster or mediocre or non-existent. And you just start thinking things like, I should be further along by now. I'm just bad with money. I have no self-control. I have no discipline. And of course, when you think that, you feel bad. And when you feel bad, your brain wants to fix it. And so that's another reason to go indulge in retail therapy so that you can stop feeling bad. So it's just this endless cycle if you're constantly spending over things instead of getting to the root cause of what's actually going on. And here's the frustrating thing. It doesn't matter how much money you make. If you're in this cycle, you will feel behind. You will feel like you're living check to check. You will be wondering where all your money goes. So this is a universal problem for people who are under earning, to people who are earning a great income, and to people who are earning multiple six figures and beyond, right? This is something that we all deal with. So if any of what I said to you sounds familiar, you are not alone. There is nothing wrong with you, and you are who I am here to help. And that is why I am so passionate about this topic, because it is the number one wealth stealer. I promise you guys, because I talked about this before. I talk about it all the time. Really, there are 5 core areas of money that we all must master if we want to not only feel financially secure, but build wealth. Because why not? We all have the ability to build wealth. We do not have to live a life that is financially hard. We do not have to live a life where we're just getting by. We do not have to live a life where we're just comfortable. We can thrive financially. It's available to all of us. But in order for that to be something you can experience, you have to master the 5 core areas of money. Income is one, right? Get your income up. We all could be making more money, but if you're under earning, that's your first thing that you need to work on, is bringing more money into your life. And if you know you already make enough money, then the next piece is getting your spending under control. So the 5 core areas of money are income, spending, debt, savings, and investing. So the top 2 are the most important, the income. But for most of my clients, the income is good. It's good enough. Of course, we can always make more. It's the outgo. It's what's going out. It's the overspending that's causing the debt, that's preventing the savings, and that's preventing the investing. Okay, so we got to get that overspending under control. And that's what this coming Sunday is all about. Again, if you have not saved your spot yet, if you have not registered yet, go to jermainefoley.com/class and just save your spot. It's free, it's simple, and it's super easy to register. You can also invite a coworker, a girlfriend, someone else in your life who you know need this. Invite her too. All you got to do is send her the link, say, hey, go to jermainefoley.com/class. And I can't wait to see you all there. This is going to be a great opportunity for me to connect with you, to chat with you. Remember, you will not be on camera. This is a webinar style Zoom, not a meeting style. So you won't be on camera, and you will have the opportunity to chat with me in the chat box and in the Q&A. You can ask anonymous questions. I want to make it as interactive as possible, but also giving you the space to not have to worry about being on camera. All you really need to do is sign up and save this on your calendar. That's the thing. So signing up is one thing, but showing up is something totally different. So if you sign up, commit to actually showing up. Set aside about an hour or so. That's probably about how long we'll be on, and give yourself a quiet spot, and let's have this conversation and solve this problem for good. All right. I cannot wait to see you all on Sunday, or I won't see you, but you know what I mean. And then otherwise, if you're not joining me on Sunday, I'll see you next week. All right, bye-bye. Hey, if money is the one area of life you just can't seem to figure out, even though you make good money, you're not alone. That's why you're invited to book a complimentary one-to-one money consultation with me so that we can figure out how to solve your biggest money challenges. To sign up, simply go to jermainefoley.com/consult or check out the show notes. Hope to meet you soon.